thanks for coming in. I know you're so busy, and I know we got to get you on to the next thing, but I'm so excited that you were able to come in to talk with us about what's going on. Big event coming up, training women to run for office.
Right.
Vote, run, lead.
Yes, right. I have to
in
think
that
about
order.
it too. Right,
Vote,
right,
run, lead. National organization coming in to talk with women here, and you've had an overwhelming response of folks who want to attend.
Yeah, we have. We are partnering with Vote Run Lead. It's a national organization that's been around, that's trained literally thousands of women to run for office. And we said, hey, we want to bring their Run As You Are workshop here to Rhode Island, and we're oversubscribed. It's fantastic.
So how many folks?
So right now we have 54 people who are signed up. We've got a little challenge in that we could expand the program, we could accept more people, but we don't have enough money to pay for things.
You could use a little assistance from the community.
That's right, that's right.
If you're a politically minded, civically minded.
Civically minded, right. I should note that this is a nonpartisan training. So the idea is basically that we just want to get more women represented at all different political levels throughout the state. And basically, since 1776, there's been 12,000 people who run for Congress. Less than 2% have been women. Okay, so we're getting better at that right now. Over 19% of Congress is women, only 6% are women of color. But locally, we need to get more women involved in politics. Now, the great news in Rhode Island is that we have over 30% representation up at the State House. But when we're talking about school boards, when we're talking about mayors of local cities, when we are talking about the different councils that take place, different boards, we need more women represented at those levels as well. And the whole concept of Run As You Are, the workshop that we're doing, is basically you already have what it takes to run for office. We're going to help you figure out what it is that you can put as your platform. We're going to help you figure out how to market it. We're going to help you figure out who's on your team that can help get the word out there so that you can get elected.
Were you surprised to get that much reaction when you had put this out there?
Well, I was, because we did very limited promotion, and when I say limited, I think I put it on our Facebook page, and like the next day, we were pretty much full, and that was before we started putting out any press releases. From what Run Vote Lead tells us is that they've already heard from literally tens of thousands of women across the country that they are interested in running, and over 60% of them want to run within the next 2 years. So if that holds true here in Rhode Island, we want to help our women in the state to run for office and win political office. It doesn't matter what your platform is. We know that as a woman, that choices get made that are good for women and their families overall when there's more representation in the room.
And talk with us about the nuts and bolts of the event, because it's, as you said, you're subscribed, but there is room for more. So tell us date, hours, location.
Sure. Yeah, so it's July 22nd. We're holding it at the New England Institute of Technology in East Greenwich. It's right off the highway, so it's easy access to it. You don't have to pay for parking. The event itself starts with a breakfast and networking session, and then it rolls into, let's start talking about, what you bring to the table. What skill sets do you have? And I think most people will be surprised that, oh, I really can do this. Really what it takes is somebody who's saying, I want to make a difference, and here's some of the things that I think are really important to pay attention to, and then starting to actually craft that campaign. So part of the program includes a panel discussion where we have Providence City Councilor Sabina Matos, who will be talking about her first failed campaign and then what she did that actually helped her to get elected. We have Senator Gail Golden, who will be talking about many of the things that she's put forward at the State House that's all about helping women and their families. We have a Republican town councilor, Susie Yankee, who's going to be there talking about her own experiences. And we even have a woman who ran a campaign, who was not running for political office, but was running to recall a city councilor from campaign, who will be sharing her experience, because you don't actually have to run for office. You can run campaigns that will make a difference. And so it's very cool.
And so, as you said, there's room for more if you could just get some assistance.
That's right. So the big problem right now is that we don't have enough funding for food. So we can actually expand the program, but right now we don't actually have lunch paid for the group that's already coming. And if we want to add more, then we need to build on that. So we'd love either a local vendor who'd be willing to donate pizza and soda, or something perhaps more. Or if they can't donate the actual food, if they donate money towards that, that would help us to keep our costs as low as possible. We are not actually charging any of our participants to be in this program. That means that it's going to be accessible to low-income women who may want to run for office. We're trying to make it available to everyone, but we need a little help to get there.
So making that appeal, and of course, whomever steps forward will, I'm sure, get a lot of love.
That's right, absolutely. We will love you on our social media. We will love you at the event. We'll say lots of good things about you, and certainly you'll get a letter for your tax records as well.
So here we are. I mean, it's July 2017. You know, we're looking at 18. I mean, to get that sort of response, what do you anticipate moving forward in terms of, you know, after this event with the Women's Fund? You know, what's the fall look like, and what's, you know, the early part of the next year look like, especially as it pertains to the politics and the political season?
Sure. Well, you know, we'll always continue to push for the policies that we feel help to bring gender parity. And so things like the Earned Sick Time campaign for us has been really important. If it does not now pass because of what's been going on at the State House, then we'll have to go into that fight again for next year. Of course, we would like to see the gender equity bill actually get passed, which would mean that when you go in to see an employer, they can't ask what your historical pay history is before they make a job offer for you. There's a variety of different things that we would want to work towards that essentially would help level the playing field for women, so that there's gender equity across the board. Certainly women of color would be impacted most by that. So we'll continue on that. We have a workshop series that we are launching with this Run As You Are workshop that will continue throughout the fall, that will help people to identify unconscious bias, that will help them to identify and address workplace bias, gender bias. And then we'll also be building a women's mentoring program as well. So those are some of the things that we're working in the fall. We will continue to, you know, to help as best we can to get more women elected to office, and we're looking forward to doing more programs like this.
And as you mentioned, again, 54 folks right now, 54 women interested, could get bigger. Is this the most interest you've seen from women looking to run for office here in the state?
You know, it's not even just for the Women's Fund. There are other organizations that are running more partisan types of workshops, and so there's several that are happening across the state. It's exciting to know that there's lots of interest. We want to leverage that. We want to help as best that we can. Certainly, it's the first time that I've been involved with this level of interest, and so that's exciting. And we just want to keep the momentum going.
Again, this is the event coming up with Vote, Run, Lead.
That's right.
Because, you know, it's kind of the order of which to do things. You know, be civically involved, think about running for office, and then ultimately lead. And you're hoping for someone to step up and lead and help out with this event to be able to get even more women to come to that training. So we'll have more information after the fact of where to contact Kelly at the Women's Fund, again, information about it. But as you mentioned, other events coming up throughout the fall that folks can keep an eye on. If you can't make it for whatever reason during the summer season and want to run for office, we'll have the information up about the Women's Fund that you can go find out what's coming up down the future. Well, Kelly, we've had you in before. I appreciate your time. I know you have to run off. You know, you're speaking of running.
That's right.
You put the run and vote, run, lead.
Thank you.
Kelly, Nevins, thank you so much for coming in.